Hey y'all, my name is Rebekah. If you don't know me, probably most of you do. Um, but I have been getting more into writing poetry again, and I'm loving it. I used to write poetry quite a bit when I was a teenager, and then I just kind of stopped because I don't know why. I just got sidetracked, or I just felt like I didn't need it anymore. I don't know. But, anyways, I'm taking a poetry course right now and I'm absolutely loving it. And so I wanted to share a few of my poems that I've written within the last few months. So, this first poem that I wrote, it's called Midnight Dance. And I wrote it, well, actually, before I read that one, I'm going to read this other one, and then maybe you can um, see if you hear the difference. By the way, don't mind my voice. I woke up with like a couple of days ago with a bit of a scratchy throat, so I don't have the virus. It's all good. Just a little bit of a sore throat, that's all, which is not a symptom of it. So don't worry. I already asked the doctor and he said I just have a bit of a cold, that's all. So, anyways, this first poem I'm gonna do is called Glimpses, and I actually wrote it about my mother. So, I adore my mother. So I don't know. We'll see where this goes. Um, at 80, she leans forward in her rocker, lowering her glasses, squinting at the pages, humming bluegrass. Gray curls fluttering from her face. Licking her fingers, she absorbs information through ebony ink, trailing behind Jeanette Oak. Her grown daughter tugs her sleeves. Mama's eyelids are pressed lead. The rice bowls over, and she scurries to catch it. Drops the bookmark on the cushion. Hollow, quivering edge. Baby girl starts crying, and her stomach unhibernates. The rice turns soggy, a lumpy rabbit. Someone gave her a rice cooker, but now it's a dusty book stopper. A loner metallic sparking sunbeam. She jumped 2 English grades, but her math teacher barked her up front, strapped her fingers like shattered ivory. But she only raised her hand. If you're so smart, figure it out. Pools of rubies pierced her swelling tears, smearing the ink. Scorched her math textbook for a backyard wiener roast. Her daughter asked for clarification on an equation, but for the life of her, she couldn't multiply by 12. At 12, her poems, stories, and dances sparked their applause. Her mama never taught her to cook, except for pasta to al dente. Her daughter's favorite meal was cheesy mushroom fettuccine. Her favorite books were Little House on the Prairie, Nancy Drew, and the Hardy Boys. The killer was almost caught on papyrus when sizzling triggered the stove. The pasta was baby's breath. She wishes she could go back to 3 on her mama's knee and hear her read stories again. So that is a type of poem that I like, that is referred to as like a narrative poem that tells a story. So in the first part of this poem, I am imagining my mother when she's older and like, you know, she's squinting forward, reading the pages. And then I like try to wake her up and because the rice is boiling over, so then she runs to catch it. But at the same time, oh, you know what? I just realized that I read. Did I read the wrong version? Oh, crap. Anyways. Oh. Sorry, for a minute I got confused, and I'll probably try and cut that out, although I'm not really good at editing videos. So that's one of my goals, is I have to learn how to edit videos better. Excuse me. Anyways, so she's like falling asleep in her chair, and her daughter wakes her up, but then all of a sudden, like, her daughter is like from an adult to like being a little girl, and the rice is still boiling over. And then she starts thinking about the time when she um, did jump to English grades, but then she was in math class and her math teacher was super mean to her. And I hope she doesn't mind me telling this. If she does, she doesn't have to let me. Love you, Mom. I just thought it was a really interesting story. And then how he strapped her fingers for just asking a question. And then she burned her math textbook and had made roasted wieners over it. And yeah, and then it's just talking about like me when I was a little girl, and then how like I mostly only learned to cook pasta, which like I just learned on my own. My mom didn't really teach me to cook. It's not that she didn't want to, it's just that she didn't know how to explain what was like so natural to her. She's just like, oh, just watch me, you know? So, and then that's just like me reminiscing, and then all of a sudden, like, I'm older and just thinking about all the things that I liked as a little girl. So I had to rewrite this poem into a faster tempo because we're experimenting with tempos. And I actually had a lot of fun writing this poem. I absolutely love it. So this one is called Midnight Dance. Ailing 80 and rumpled forward, pinching personified pages and trailing behind Jeanette Oak's wonders. Wonder what will be for dinner. Lumpy rabbits and shriveled rice, and I tried to be good, rumpling her sleeves as she scurried to catch the seas boiling over, and she nearly got bouldered for airing arithmetic, but aired above English like Juliet's night. 'Twas the night Rapunzel let down her hair of nights surveying towers, of riling reeves spinning gold, and Goldilocks sealed in a tower. Rumpelstiltskin creased into corner of the gold rush trail, sitting under the old oak tree while reading the Velveteen Rabbit. She devises dances that dared down dubious dimensions, sparking the release of a pinata shower, and it showered in May. Cinco de Mayo shelled like the hair. Her hair waves rapidly in gusty torpedoes. Jete here, pirouette there, arabesque through sheeny skies. She's suddenly stricken by the ebony arches of arithmetic, which scatter salty rubies cross crackling veils. While following in her wake, she's awakened to tugging at her sleeve and starts to scurry, catching the chalkish lumps. Dead white hairs assaulting my senses, sizzling. What's the sense of this? Girlies on stomach and hibernates like a roaring circus bear. Creases frame her ivory pins, and dust collects in her folds. Crumpling on her old oak rocker, she slants and suddenly lolls away. I'm so happy with that poem. I just love it. So as you can see, I really played with like speed and sound, and I did that through like alliteration, using and a lot, and I don't know how to turn this around, but yeah. Anyways, I don't know if you can see my screen. Well, anyways, I've just like played with like line breaks and using and alliteration, and I started out like kind of the same scene where like she's asleep in her chair, and then her daughter comes to wake her up, And then she falls asleep and she's like thinking about all the like, because my mom is a bookworm and she's just like thinking about, so she used to get in trouble for reading when she should have been doing her homework, like just reading any, I don't know what she read, but I'm just imagining what she read. Like, and so when she, in my poem, when she's like falling asleep in her chair when she's older in 80s, just thinking about all these stories and these fairy tales that she read. And like Rumpelstiltskin creased in the corner of the Gold Rush Trail. Like, I just love that. And sitting under the old oak tree reading Velveteen Rabbit. And I love how I was like, it showered in May, Cinco de Mayo, shelled like the hair, her hair waves and gusty torpedoes. It's just so fun. I had so much fun doing that. Like, some things you just do for fun. Like, you just have to do it for fun because, sometimes life is like blah. So, I don't know. I think I learned, like, if you don't like the world you live in, just write a new one. Okay. I'm going to do another poem. And I actually just wrote this poem tonight. I haven't shared it with anybody, not even my teacher. So this poem is called The Color of Water. The color of water, oh sorry, pardon me, let me start over. The color of marines is briny. It echoes cobalts like swan songs. It reverberates the spots of a loon. It reverberates like the spots of a loon. Bear with me. Maybe I'll just start over. I'm nervous. The color of marines is briny. It echoes cobalts like swan songs. It reverberates like the spots of a loon, swirling on sturdy cedars that tower above, pastels mirrored like spinning hotel doors, eddy grays, blues, and jades refracting the sunlight, wavy heartbeats on glowing oars, but Loch Ness captivates these bodies. The color of water is philharmonic, resounding jewels glistening between chords and honking triangles bursting overhead. Seagulls scatter at pattering feet. Twilight is mandarins, violets, and turquoise. But Leviathan underlies these vortices. The color of water is like a running champion. Elongated floats drift like paintbrushes. Someday I'll frame these needles. Needless signs say 7 or 1. A paused canvas unplugged, our paddles splashing. Cerulean here, azure there. Our arms are cast lead. Scullies wading through the depths. We keep our eyes on blurry shores. Bolstering barracudas are blazing in these swells. Will it get us? The color of water is a deadly pestilence. Radiance penetrates my shoulders. A gentle kiss. Behemoth lurks in these shallows. That is what the news said. They're liars. How could anything be wrong on this day? Those who dwell in the Most High find shelter, covered under his creviced wings. The color of water is replenished vaccines. Unable to reach the surface, you send an angel to stir the fountain, bowing our faces to the earth. Oh Lord, forgive us. We don't know what we're doing. SOS. Mixed pastels swirl in flowing ebonies. We charge the horizon like flighty trumpeters. We will reach the shore. So I wrote that poem, and at first I was just like, I really just started writing this poem because I was thinking, like, I just thought of the title and I thought that would be a really cool title for something, but I don't know what. And then I was thinking, so I was like, well, I'll just try and write a poem and like see where it goes. And I'm